This is Lori Bucas. Many of my customers where I work and my people that work for me, volunteer, have been asking me to do some recipes for them online. And so I thought I would try doing 1 or 2 videos a week. Tonight I'm making a vegetable beef barley soup. You can make it just vegetables if you want, or not, and not put the beef in. But then you would probably add a couple more hearty vegetables, like maybe a sweet potato and stuff like that. That would be good. If you're using something like a squash or like a yellow squash or a green squash or a mushroom, what you would do is put that in like 10 minutes before it's done so that it doesn't get all mushy. What I have right now is I have my pot on the stove. I'm going to put the pot on medium high. I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the pan and wait till that heats up a little bit. And then I'm going to take my pound of ground beef, which is all set for me here, and my medium onion, and I have about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic, which I diced up. That's going to be added to the hot pan as soon as I'm done with that. In this bowl, I've cut up the carrots and the celery. I used about 5 or 6 carrots and about 6 stalks of celery, which I've diced up. You want to make sure they're about the same size so that they cook the same way, so you don't have some vegetables cooked and uncooked. So I'm going to get that into the pan and start heating up the onions and the garlic and the beef until it browns. My stove tends to heat up pretty quick. My burner's on top. So I usually break up the beef into the soup because it's easier to mix up. And then I'll wash my hands. Now with this soup, there's so many variations. You could add, if you wanted to make it with a barley, like a vegetable beef barley, just add a cup of barley when you put the lid on and let that cook after you've added your liquid and your tomatoes. I'm also going to add 4 cups of stock of your choice. I'm using beef stock tonight. If I'm making just vegetable, I use vegetable stock. I either make my own or I buy a really good quality vegetable stock. And then I use a small can of, 15-ounce can of diced tomatoes. So as this is starting to brown, I'm going to give it a stir. In total, this soup probably takes you maybe a half hour to make, which isn't really bad when you consider how much it makes, and it's hearty and it's good for you. I like to use organic. It's your choice what you use, whatever you can afford and whatever you think is the best for you to use. Like I said, it's just it's a preference. So while this is browning, I've got the carrots and celery here, which I'm going to put in as soon as the beef gets browned and let them cook for probably a couple of minutes until the onions are translucent, which means they're clear. And you don't want the garlic to burn, so you don't want the garlic on too high because it will burn on you and it'll make a mess. I'm also going to use a teaspoon of salt. I only use Himalayan pink salt when I cook because it's a better salt for you. And then fresh ground pepper, of course. About half a teaspoon of that. can see it's starting to brown up. Nicely. You don't want the garlic to burn because that'll make your whole soup taste nasty. So just wait until the beef is brown and then add your celery and carrots and let them cook for probably 3 minutes. So while that's cooking, I'm going to open up the tomatoes. I don't drain them because I like the juice of the tomatoes too. I don't like to have just the dry tomatoes in there. And even a fire roasted tomato is really nice. It gives it that little zing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, while this is cooking in there, I'm going to put a teaspoon of salt so it cooks while the vegetables are cooking. And then I'll put my pepper in. I'm also going to add a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, which I'll measure out just in my hand. I usually eyeball everything, unfortunately. So about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And give it another stir. The beef is all browned up. It's been about 3 minutes. I'm going to add the quart of stock. And a can of tomatoes. And give it a nice stir. And bring it up to a boil. And when it comes to a boil, put a cover on it. Put a cover on it and let it cook for probably about 20 minutes until the carrots and celery are cooked. If you wanted to add, like I added peas, I'll usually add those like the last 5 minutes, like frozen peas, the last 5 minutes of the cooking time. So probably like at 15 minutes or so, put the peas in. So that'll come up to a boil. We'll cover it and we'll turn it down and let it go for 20 minutes. And then you'll have a nice hearty soup. It's great with a salad or nice crusty bread on the side with lots of butter, of course. But enjoy. I hope you enjoy the video and I hope you'll join me for the next video. Thank you.